Hi, everybody, it's Dawn, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have a kind of a smelly situation on a Disney cruise ship as the sewage is backed up in a few of the cabins on board the Disney Magic. We have Disney changing your vacation protection plan through them, and it could affect a lot of people's vacation if you might not have insurance. So let's pay attention to that. More news in Bar Harbor is now the town is suing the hotel that runs the pier for violations in 2024 of permits, while they're still debating in court system whether even the ban is legal or not. It's still, but now they're suing them for $4 million. Yeah, it's a sticky situation. And then we also have Carnival Cruise Line saying, yeah, all those rumors that are out there are completely untrue. So a big change right now that is coming to Disney Cruise Line, effective immediately, although if you already have a booking out there for a Disney cruise, it's been grandfathered in. But going forward, you will only be able to book their vacation protection if you have a U.S. address, which means you can book from Canada or the United States, but you have to have an American address to make coverage on a Disney cruise line. That means all European travelers, Canadian travelers who live in Canada who don't have an American address, you can no longer get their vacation protection coverage. You will have to get a third-party coverage going forward, and that goes for right across the globe. So everybody except an American cannot get insurance anymore, and also it has to be booked in American dollars. So you can't even book it in Canadian dollars. You can't book it in with the British pound. Even though you're booking from there, you won't be able to get insurance. So yeah, that's a pretty big change. It comes with a lot of different regulations. Other cruise lines have regulations as well. If you're a Canadian citizen, like a travel agent like myself, and you're trying to book an American client on a Royal Caribbean ship, well, I can't put insurance on it. Different states like New York, you can't put insurance on people who live in New York. You can't put insurance on some Quebec here in Canada. Everybody has different regulations, but this is a pretty big one where everybody except a U.S. citizen booking in U.S. dollars can't get insurance on the Disney Cruise Line. Not sure what this decision is, but that's what it is going forward. Next, we also have a kind of a smelly situation on the Disney Magic that sails out of Galveston. Well, they had a sewage backup on board where the sewage leaked out onto the floor and onto the carpets in some of the staterooms. And one passenger posted out basically saying, what kind of compensation would you say is suitable for somebody who had sewage backup in their stay? And when I mean sewage, of course I mean toilet sewage backing up onto the carpet and the floor in your stateroom. Some people said 25% future cruise credit. They would want everything in their stateroom sanitized. They would want everything cleaned and laundered for free, etc. Some people said they would want all their money back. Can you imagine going back into a stateroom that basically had feces all over the floor, and chances are they hopefully were moved to different staterooms, but your clothes and all your materials were in that stateroom during that time. It could be, like I said, a pretty smelly situation. Next, let's also talk about Bar Harbor. It's been in the news many times with that 1,000 cruise ship limit. Well, that came into effect somewhat in 2024, yet there was over 98,000 passengers visited the cruise port. Now, apparently, the hotel that operates the pier, that's been doing that for years and years and years now, the new town rule made them say that now you needed a permit for every ship that was coming in, and every day that a ship was going to unload passengers, you would need a different permit. And they are saying that they violated this amendment to the rules, and they're now suing the hotel and the hotel chain ownership for $4 million maybe they need that money to help fight all the court cases that they've had to fight since they started this ban on cruise ships and this limitation. But as I said, this this hotel has been doing this for years, if not decades. And so there are such laws out there that saying even though a town makes an ordinance and a new rule, if it's an ongoing business that has been doing this for years and years and years, there's a grandfather clause in there. And so they're saying, no, hey, we are grandfathered in. We don't have to do the permit thing and etc. And especially that there's still court cases going forward in the federal court to see if this is even legal that the town bans cruise ships. But they were slapped with the $4 million. And they're saying they were sending down an ordinance officer every single day that a cruise ship was coming into port to take note and keep track of all the offenses that were happening there. I guess they weren't stopping them from coming in and spending the money. They were just making note so they can sue them at a future date, I guess. Still a mess. Bar Harbor's still a mess, and whatever side you're on, it's winning by slim margins. In the last vote, what was it, 3 votes, something like that, 6 votes, that won the repeal to raise it up to 2,500 passengers instead of 1,000 passengers. As I said, probably next year, if they do it again, they might lose that referendum. So we'll see what happens going forward. But another rumor that's going on with Carnival Cruise Line, as people were saying that because of the egg prices and the egg shortages across the United States with supply chain issues and everything, well, there were no egg dishes on Carnival Cruise Lines, and they were cutting back on the egg dishes, and yeah, it's completely untrue. Even John Hield has mentioned on his posts, I know people who are currently on 3 different Carnival ships. There's no egg shortages on their ships. I'm on a Carnival-owned ship right now, the Sun Princess. We have eggs galore, and it doesn't seem to be an issue. Maybe it was an issue for one dock where they failed to have the eggs arrive on time for one particular sailing, but there is no shortage on the cruise lines. They have supply chains, like backup systems built into everything. Now, eggs, of course, have gone up in price. They have gone tremendously high in prices, both in Canada and the United States. And so the cruise lines are taking that into account. But eggs are basically one of those items that's free on a cruise ship, right? It's in main dining. It's in the buffet. They're everywhere. Well, the cruise line has to bite that bullet and pay for the increased prices, etc. But yeah, there's no shortage. They still have eggs. There's still Eggs Benedict in some places. You can get an omelet made. And here on the Sun Princess, I can get my breakfast egg sandwich every single morning. Never had an issue. So, yeah, I don't know where the rumors sometimes start. Like I said, it could have been one single sailing that maybe they didn't load the eggs fast enough and they didn't arrive at the port fast enough. And maybe they run out for a couple of days near the end of the cruise or had to limit them. But there is, generally speaking, on all the cruise lines that I'm talking to right now, no shortages of the egg dishes on board. Let me know in the comments down below, what would you guys do if the sewage backed up in your stateroom? How much kind of compensation do you think would be fair for something like that? Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.